best way to do things is to upload green button data. And there's some links on the training deck on how to do that. So you download their usage from the utility website, and ideally you want to get this in hour intervals, because it's not currently set up for 15-minute intervals. So if you can download hourly usage, you can upload the XML file, soon CSV file. You can upload it here, and it will customize that customer's usage habits throughout the day. It'll plug it into the tool so it can be extremely accurate on how to price everything, optimal solar battery system. If you can't get the green button data, go to plan B, which is to choose the right consumption profile. So you click back on estimate, you scroll down to this section with the blue graph, and you want to pick the most appropriate usage profile. What we're looking at here is household with kids, right? Using power in the morning, and they go to work, take the kids to school, and then everybody comes back in the evening using a lot of power. It's a pretty common profile. You might have a different situation with a retired couple or a working from home couple, which is going to have more usage in the middle of the day. Still a little bit at night, but majority during the day. And that's going to have a big impact on the economics. Not only is this the right thing to do, this is going to give us a competitive advantage, because a lot of our competitors are just going to do the old school, you use 1,000 kilowatt hours a month, we'll give you a system that produces 1,000 kilowatt hours a month. But it's not that simple anymore. We've got to take into account when they're using power so we can size everything appropriately. So take the time, be the pro. Also, coach your customers. Hey, if you can use a little bit more power in the middle of the day, between 10 and 3, that's going to help you save even more. So when are you charging your pool pump? At night? Okay, use the pump during the day. Charging your car at night, charge it during the day if you can, etc. All these sorts of things are going to improve the economics, because you want to use that solar power in real time if you can. Okay, let's talk about standalone solar. Still a no-brainer. Way better than sticking with the utility. Now, the bill doesn't go down quite as low as it used to, but it's still better than the utility. So in this example right here, about 107% offset in SoCal Edison, the $279 bill goes down to $123. More than cutting it in half. Now, if you had a daytime user, that would go down even more, to about $90. See how big of an impact it can be on when you use power. And there's a lot of benefit. Mr. Customer, you're now going to be more isolated and protected from all the rate hikes and the high usage fees and penalties, like the conservation incentive adjustment. You're now going to be a lower user in their eyes. You're not going to get penalized as much. If you're going solar only, west facing is ideal. You want to take advantage of producing power during the peak times of the day. So you want to definitely have some west facing, or at least southwest facing. That is the best bet in the NEM 3 setup. New regulation here. Maximum offset, we can size the system as 150% of their historical usage. And when they go over 100%, they still need to sign an attestation form saying they're going to be using a little bit more power going forward. We already have this form built into our contract packets. We cannot go over 150. And frankly, it's not terribly advisable to go much over 100%. So oversizing is not really the way to go, because at a certain point, you're done powering your house, you're just sending power to the grid, but remember, those credits are only about 5 cents. And then they're selling it back to you at 40, 50, 60, 70 cents. So there's a lot of diminishing returns. If I were to max this house out at 150%, yeah, I'd bring the bill down a little bit lower to around $93. But there's a better way. And that better way is batteries. So if you can add a battery to a system, now you're really protecting your customer. Don't export your power if you can help it. Keep all of your self-generated electricity at your house. Be completely self-sustained. If you add a Encharge battery to this particular scenario, that $279 bill goes down to about $40. You add a second battery to this home and scenario, it goes down to $21. And let's not forget, you have backup power. So you're increasing your savings, the overall savings grows significantly, and when the power goes out, which is happening more and more, you're backing up your essential loads or potentially your whole home. That is a huge value that's hard to even put a dollar figure on. Interesting little note here. Someone in NEM 3 who has solar and a properly sized battery system might be in a better position than somebody under NEM 2 with no battery. Maybe they're okay today. They had an oversized system to protect them from peak rates, but what's going to happen to those peak rates? They're going to go from 60 to 70 to 80, 90, $1 a kilowatt hour and higher. That's the reality. And when that happens, they're not protected anymore. They're still vulnerable to those increases. Under NEM 3 or 2 as well, if you've got a battery system, you don't have to play that game. You don't have to worry about what they're doing because you're keeping all your power at your house and you're protected. Now, how do we size a battery? This is crucial. Here's a very broad general rule of thumb. Take the solar system and multiply it times 2. So if you've got a little 5 kilowatt system, times 2, you need a 10 kilowatt hour battery or one N-phase battery. If you've got a 7K system, you really need about a 14 kilowatt hour battery, and the Powerwall is 13.5. 10K, you need 20 kilowatt hours. 13K, you need 26 kilowatt hours, or 2 Powerwalls. Now, this isn't a perfect system, but it's a nice general, again, rule of thumb. A better way to do it is in SolarGraph. You go to the battery design tool, and this is a big change. We're no longer going to be selecting electricity bill savings. Instead, we're going to pick energy independence. Then we're going to move that slider all the way up to 100%. We'll leave a little bit in the reserve, about 10-15%, in case the power goes out in the middle of the night. And then we hit, recommended size. And it'll tell us, for this home, to maximize your energy independence, you need 2 N-charge batteries. And if you go with that, they're going to be very well protected. Another way to size batteries is to look at their daily usage. So let's say our average customer, 750 kilowatt hours a month, that's 25 a day. Then you ask, when do you use power? What's your consumption profile? And if it's during the day, like working from home profile, that's going to be about 60% usage in the day, 40% at night and early morning. So you take that 40%, and you multiply it times their 25 kilowatt hours, which is 10 kilowatt hours. So an N-charge battery, 10 kilowatt hours, is ideal. Now you take the same amount of usage, 25, but with a household with kids, where they're using all their power at night, that's more like 80% usage at night. So what you need now is 80% times 25 is now 20 kilowatt hours, or 2 batteries. Let's look at a bigger system. Oh, and a reminder that yes, you can tell your customers to use more power in the middle of the day. That'll increase their savings. Now, if we look at a larger system or a larger usage customer, 50 kilowatt hours a day, well, if they're working from home, again, 40% we need to protect at night. So 40% of 50 is 20 kilowatt hours. Now, what if they have a nighttime user? Again, 80%. So 80% of 50 is 40. So you need 4 N-charge batteries to truly protect that homeowner. So you can see it's no longer just about how much they use, it's when they use it. All right, here's some other economics on that same house, same example. If you're going solar only, you're going to get them down to about $123. If they're a daytime user, it goes down to about $93. And you got some decent savings. You throw on 1 battery, 1 N-charge, bill goes down to 38 or 30 for daytime user. 2 batteries, now it's down to 21, a little lower for a daytime user, and Powerwall is even better. 1 Powerwall is going to be same thing. And the savings, of course, increase, depending on how much more protection you have. Okay, going forward, this is a big change. You now have to pay your electric bill every month. You'll still have a true-up, but you, every month, have to pay whatever you owe to the utility, not just the little connection fee. Whatever you owe, you got to pay it. Now, if you have credits, if you have a surplus of energy, those credits will still roll over to the next month, and the next month, etc. And then at the end of the 12-month billing cycle, you can cash them in at the net surplus compensation rate, which is about 3 or 4 cents. All right, so selling with net metering 3.0.